Hey, all you action figure enthusiasts out there, JC here, and welcome to a special Sunday edition of TNInews Live. I was unfortunately not able to get on here on Friday like I had hoped. I had something come up, and so I wasn't able to do it on Friday. And I'm not going to be here tomorrow because I'm heading up to Pennsylvania to catch Raw, uh, live showing of WWE Raw up at the Hershey Center, Giant Center in Hershey Park. So I figured let's do a special one today. We'll kind of recap the last week of news and then talk a little bit about tomorrow's Marvel Legend live stream, which we will be covering on Marvelous News. So we will have coverage of that. I'm going to be here until that ends, and then I'll be heading up to Pennsylvania. I'm going up to see Big Nerdy Matt at Nerd Zoic, and then we're going to head over to check out some wrestling. So. Um, and then I'll be back here on Wednesday when we can talk about all of the reveals from tomorrow's Marvel Legend panel and anything else that happens between now and then. Um, so let's just do a quick recap. See who is in the house today. Austin is here. Good to see you, my friend. Zim is in the house. Always good to see you, my friend. We've got Jordan here. Happy holidays. Thank you for checking in today, especially on a special day like today. Alonzo is in the house. Good to see you, my friend. P.S. Pissed I couldn't place a pre-order for the Inart Arkham Batman. I didn't really look, but I assume it sold out. Or did that go up for pre? I know. Uh, I have not been following the NR stuff. I know we saw images for that one last week, but I don't remember if like Big Bad Toy Store has put that up for pre-order. Um, Paul's in the house. What is up? John Brooks is in the house. Greetings from Ireland as always. Figure Fury, good to see you, my friend. Happy holidays to you. Can't watch because I'm working, but I'll catch the rewind. Nice. Let's see. We've got Mr. Allmine is here as well. What is up? Adam, what's up? TV party, what is up? I can't tell if I'm in the house. Can someone please let me know? I think you're in the house, my friend. Is it Mr. TV? Mr. Allmine sees you. Anthony Morris, happy holidays to you as well. Yeah, it's like it's so hard for me to grasp that we're just like what less than 2 weeks till Christmas. It's just like this whole month has just kind of flown by. In fact, in some ways, this whole year has just really kind of flown by. In some ways that's good, and others not as much. But yeah, we're just and Christmas, and then the end of the year. So it's just kind of really crazy. Let's see. Excited for Mattel DC updates. Nothing much on that front, which I really, we know, just to recap what we know officially from Mattel, what Mattel has told me at least. Next year, we really aren't going to see the collector oriented stuff for Mattel. McFarlane will continue that through the end of next year. Mattel will start more of the kid friendly products um, starting at the middle of next year, 2026. But again, we're not going to really see the collector, or at least on shelves. I don't know when Mattel will start announcing the collector stuff, when they'll start showing it. Um, I Since they weren't really planning on releasing collector stuff until 2027, I really wouldn't expect to see anything until the end of next year. But I will tell you, the Mattel. Last time I talked to them, they said you might start seeing something earlier than that. So we'll have to see. But again, just keep in mind next year is really primarily, as far as collector stuff for DC, still going to be McFarlane, and then Mattel will start pumping out some of the more kid oriented stuff for DC next year, and then they will pick up the collector oriented stuff in 2027. Let's see, Dark Princess, what's up? I recognize the avatar, so it looks like a name change there, Dark Princess. But welcome. Chris is sick with the flu. Happy to have some TNI. Hope you feel better, my friend. Let's see. I saw Alex Chen News posting something. I don't know how accurate that is because again, he's talking about stuff next year. So based on what Mattel told me, I don't think So I saw DC Universe, but that may be like their kids oriented line. Speaking of Mattel and rumors, we actually so I think last time I talked to you guys, we talked about this so-called listing of stuff that Preternia had discovered. Go back and find that. So Preternia had put out this list of a list of kid-oriented stuff called First Ones and collector-oriented 5.5-inch collector-oriented Chronicles, um, based on the movie products. And Mattel has basically said that at least some of this information is not accurate. So I don't know what information is accurate, if all of it. They weren't clear. Um, Basically, they said, wait until we officially announce it. So, which is typical for what a toy company will say in regards to that kind of thing. But they did suggest that maybe not everything is accurate. To me, it's probably the names. First One seems like a really strange name for an action figure line. So I'm wondering if these weren't like code names or something. Chronicles. The descriptions I feel like seem pretty accurate. So I don't know. But just know that whatever this information on Masters of the Universe movie figures might not be entirely accurate as well. So it's possible Mattel's putting out false information to overseas places to either scope out leaks or what, I don't know, but it's hard to say. But again, going back to the DC, based on what Mattel told me not too long ago, and McFarlane kind of confirmed that at New York Comic Con, that he'll continue doing the collector oriented stuff through the end of next year, and then Mattel will pick up the collector oriented stuff starting in 2027. And kids stuff will start coming out from Mattel next year. So essentially, you remember that DC license was split between two companies back in 2020. McFarlane got the collector stuff, and Spin Master got the kid oriented stuff. So basically, I mean, they didn't specifically say it this way when I talked to Mattel, but my impression was basically the Spin Master license ends at the middle of next year with the kid stuff, and that's when Mattel will start doing the kid stuff. And then the McFarlane stuff will end at the end of 2026, and Mattel will pick up the collector oriented stuff at the beginning of 2026. So that was my general impression based on what they were telling me. The Watcher says, I would love if Mattel did updated versions of the classic line. I I have I really don't know what Mattel's going to do for collector oriented stuff. Are they going? I mean, are they going to do? I mean, the classics line was essentially, I don't know. It was a good line, but I don't feel like it would hold up today. So, but I don't know. Like Mattel put out some really nice DC figures towards the end of their run, especially their Build a figures were getting pretty good. But I still don't like compared to like a Marvel Legends stuff. They still, even McFarlane. I mean, I don't know. It's gonna be. I'm really. I mean, I'm like you guys. I'm really curious to see what they're going to end up doing. I'm going to assume it's going to be either 6 or 7 inch scale. I hope they don't try and go to a smaller scale. Mattel's last line of DC figures were 6 inch, but McFarlane's been doing the 7 inch. So I don't we'll have to see which scale Mattel decides to go with. Um, I don't know if they want to try and keep them in line with Marvel Legends, or if they want to stick with, because I mean, you got to think of it both ways. You got to think you've got a lot of people that always say they want 6-inch DC figures to match their Marvel Legends, that kind of thing. But there's probably far more 7-inch DC figures out there than there are 6-inch figures, between what DC Direct used to put out, which was mostly 7-inch, between everything McFarlane's been putting out. So if you've been an avid DC collector in recent years, most of your DC figures are going to be 7-inch scale. So I have to wonder if those people are really going to want to change scales back to 6-inch, which won't match the figures that they already have. Maybe that won't be a problem. Maybe people are just like, I'm completely fine starting with a new line, a new scale. I don't know. It's hard. Like if I was planning out an action figure line like that, that would be one that would be very difficult to really kind of determine what would be the better route to go. Because if you go online, you'll hear it from both sides. You'll hear people that say, I want to continue 7-inch, and then you'll hear those that say they want 6-inch. So if you're just judging by online comments and stuff, I think you're going to get a lot of mixed results on that. Bat Mike Man, I just hope they do soft goods capes and maybe jackets. Soft goods wired cape seems to be where everyone is kind of going these days. So I would kind of think that would be the case, or at least a mix. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if we still get some of the plasticky type capes, but I would think they would kind of mix it up maybe. I My big question is, what I don't want to see from Mattel is a repeat of Matty Collector. I don't want to see where things are only sold directly on their own website. I'm sure that we'll get Mattel Creation exclusives and stuff, and that's fine. But I don't want to see like the collector oriented stuff will only be sold on Mattel Creations or something like that. That I think would be a huge mistake. So that's really one of my biggest fears, just because like I said, the last time they had DC starting out, at least a lot of that stuff got diverted over to Matty Collector, and I think that was a huge mistake for the line. All right, so since we've started off with a little bit of Masters of the Universe, let's stick with that. Pre-orders for that Origins Dragstore figure have gone up since I last talked to you guys. So this is a Mattel Creations exclusive. This is the Origins version. Of course, there is a Masterverse version that has also gone up for pre-order. Um, so I believe that's still available if you're an Origins fan. $28. Yep. So that went up on the 10th. The Origins Queen Marlena figure is available pretty much everywhere now. We've gotten some pre-orders for the next round of 2000X Mattel Masters of the Universe figures with the Moss Man, Evelyn, Man at Arms, also the deluxe Ram Man. So that's essentially the second wave of 2000X figures. You can get those at Big Bad Toy Store and Entertainment Earth. I don't think these are bad. I've gotten the Mondo. I pre-ordered the Mondo He-Man. I did not get the Clawful figure, and then the Mondo Skeletor has gone up for pre-order, and I'm going to talk about that in just a second. And then Man at Arms is the fourth figure for Mondo. So I'm not going to collect all the Mondo figures, but I'm going to probably just stick with Mondo. They are just, I mean, again, these aren't bad figures, and they're certainly a lot cheaper than the Mondo stuff. So, um, but I think I don't really want to dive that deep into 2000X again. So that's me personally. Again, Masterverse, that latest wave with Adora, Keldor, and the Dragster Masterverse figure, those have gone up for pre-order. So I think that catches us up on Masters. So let's jump over to wrestling. So last night, if you're into wrestling, you probably watched either live on Peacock or clips on social media. But last night was John Cena's final match. Actually, originally I had wanted to try and go to this because this was down in Washington D.C. So this is actually closer to me than the Raw show tomorrow. But the prices on the tickets were so expensive for this thing. I was just like, yeah, no way. So I watched this on TV last night. I know a lot of people were pissed with how the Cena Gunther match ended. I mean, I knew Gunther was going to win. I did feel like I did feel like the tap out for Cena was just, I don't know, just like they were like wrestling and he kept breaking it and stuff, and then finally Cena's just like, okay, we're done. And so I just felt like Cena didn't really sell it very well. Um, and then, but the tribute afterwards I thought was great for him. And the whole show last night was basically about putting over the younger talent, all the NXT and TNA and all that jazz. So that's pretty much the theme last night for the show. And like I say, I was not surprised at all that Cena lost to Gunther, because that's really what Cena's been about, is like putting over the new talent as he steps away. But anyway, keeping it to toys, we've got this new made to pre-order Mattel Creations last final match John Cena figure. So again, this is available now and it runs through December 31st. So you've got till the end of the month to pre-order this one. As I said, it's made to pre-order, so it's not going to sell out. It's $45. You get the multiple head sculpts, you get the soft goods cloth thing that he puts on his back, and he's got the shirt's removable, so multiple heads. So it's a nice looking figure. The likeness looks pretty good. This is an ultimate edition figure. So like I said, celebrating his final match last night, is this made to pre-order figure, which again you have until December 31st to pre-order that. I think we talked about this stuff last time, so I'm not going to go into that. Let's jump over to NECA. NECA started doing their 12 days of downloads where they put up, for each of their figures. So we got the cartoon collection turtle figures. I think everything on the poster we had seen before, including this big giant Krang figure. This has been on display at some of the conventions. It's not yet been available for purchase. I don't know when it's going to go up. We saw Tiger Claw at New York Comic Con. I saw this figure at their booth at New York Comic Con. The Football. So this is part of the 2012 Turtle figures. I don't remember seeing Ninja Splinter, but I feel like we did. We have seen the business suit Casey Jones. Vacation Slash is another one I don't remember specific. I think we've seen that one at conventions. They have got a shit ton of figures that they've done over the years. I mean, it's amazing how many figures they've done in this line. So, but again, if you want to get a high res version of this poster, you can go over to the NECA website and download it. So they've done the retro cloth figures as well. This is the second one. This is a reissue of I want to say this was a con exclusive originally, but this Thing figure has gone up for pre-order. It lights up, based on the movie poster from the movie The Thing with Kurt Russell. So that's available at Big Bad Toy Store. Not much else new on the NECA front. But keeping it with turtles, the second wave of Page Puncher turtle figures from McFarlane Toys is going to be going up this coming week on December 16th. So on Tuesday, This wave includes Rocksteady and Bebop and Raphael, and I just realized the thumb image is screwed up because it shows Raphael twice, but Michelangelo is the fourth figure in this wave. So these are listed as 5-inch figures. So you get multiple heads with Rocksteady and Bebop. The glasses come off, at least on one of the head sculpt. Well, I don't know if they come off or they're just crooked. It's hard to tell. May just be sculpted crooked on there. So these are based on the IDW comics. There's Raphael. And then there's Michelangelo. So that's the fourth figure. So the first wave had the other two turtles and Shredder and a foot soldier, I think, which is available. Those are available at places like Big Bad Toy Store. These will be available pretty much everywhere that carries McFarlane stuff. Now, how quickly they sell out, I don't know. You know, I don't remember if the first wave sold out quickly, like a lot of the McFarlane stuff has in recent months. But again, that pre-order is on Tuesday. Then we also have a new round of DC Multiverse figures. These are going up on Wednesday. So this wave includes Ice from Fire and Ice, Superman from Superman the Authority, JLA Flash, and Rocket Red Brigade from Justice League Generation Lost. So these figures were first shown off at New York Comic Con. So there's a good look at the Ice figure. I think this one will be popular. These, at least like Ice, these will probably sell out pretty quickly. At least the pre-orders. Like I've noticed with McFarlane recently, like stuff that sold out really quick pre-order wise, then ends up coming in stock when it actually comes in stock. So these e-tailers, when they actually get the in stock, have more available. So in other words, like McFarlane's like limiting places and the amount that they can put up for pre-order, but then when they actually get the stuff in stock. Let's get the little jetpack on the back there. Red Rocket Brigade. And then yet another Flash. I've lost track about how many Flashes that McFarlane's done, but now I will tell you, back at New York Comic Con, let me just go back to October. Oh, also this past week, some new Todd Mod figures, those vinyl figures, Fat Apocalypse and Cyborg or Dark Side and Cyborg went up for pre-order. Those actually sold out. I was surprised. I think they sold out both at Big Bad Toy Store and Entertainment Earth. Entertainment Earth, last time I checked, still had like a case of them, but I think they sold out. So these actually, they're not my thing, but I guess some people did want those. Oh, also, uh, the first Elite Edition Image Founders line. These were announced at New York Comic Con. First one being Spawn, of course, from Todd McFarlane himself. This is going up for pre-order next week on the 18th. So, we're going to get one every 2 months is how it's supposed to work. So this was said to be at New York Comic Con. This one was said to be released in January. So it looks like this might have a quick turnaround time as far as pre-orders go. Has the soft goods cape. I've seen some people say the cape looks cheap, but overall this is a pretty cool looking figure to me. I will probably pick this one up. I'm actually interested in getting the whole line. So we'll recap that here in just a second because we're going back to New York Comic Con. Like those who missed out on the Super Friend figures, these were made available again. Amazon and Entertainment Earth. I haven't checked to see if they've sold out again, but like they were made available again online. Same thing with like this Joker figure and Cheetah and stuff. So, like I said, a lot of stuff has been coming in back in stock when it actually arrives. We talked about the Joker last week. But I wanted to hop down to New York Comic Con. So this was back in October. During their panel. So it's weird that we haven't gotten really any new Mortal Kombat announcements. I wonder if they're already kind of done with the classic stuff. I'm sure they'll do some stuff for the new movie, but all right. So, and it's kind of funny. So, like, the other week we had that Brazil convention that McFarlane was at. The only new thing they showed at that convention that we hadn't seen before was that slide with the Joker figure that we talked about last week. But I guess people forgot that these figures were shown off at New York Comic Con. So people were passing around slides, blurry slides at that, of the same figures that were already shown at New York Comic Con. But anyway, one thing I wanted to note here is you can see listed with those other figures that are going up for pre-order is the uh, Lafleeze figure. And then there were two red platinum figures with Gangbuster and Black Condor. So I don't know. Those were not announced by McFarlane to be going up for pre-order this coming week. Now with the red platinums, they don't always announce those. But like the Fleas was not listed as a red platinum, at least at New York Comic Con, so, or gold label or anything like that. So I don't know if that one got held back or we'll end up seeing it in some way go up next week. But we'll have to wait and see. Same thing with the two red platinum figures, but those were all announced with the ones that are going up for pre-order this coming week at New York Comic Con. And then just to recap on those Spawn Image Comic founder figures again. So Spawn is first, then Savage Dragon. I think Savage Dragon will be super popular. So that'll probably go up for pre-order. The way it was said, every 2 months starting in January was Spawn. So, but I guess that's the release, and Spawn's actually going up for pre-order in December. So if that's the case, like I said, we'll probably see Spawn release next month, and then the pre-order for Savage Dragon would probably launch sometime in February and then be released in March, and so on and so forth. Shadowhawk, that's another one that I think will be pretty popular. Wildcats, I mean, yes, popular, but I don't think, I don't know how much future, I don't know if we'll see any additional figures beyond this first wave with these. But being Wildcats is now part of DC, I don't see we're going to see other Wildcat figures released by McFarlane. That was just kind of a special thing worked out with Jim Lee, and while McFarlane still has the DC license. But again, I wouldn't expect more Wildcat characters. We got the Witchblade character and then the Youngblood character, which unfortunately, like when they first announced, I was thinking, oh, this will go nice with those new loose collector Youngblood figures that they're doing. But then it just occurred to me these are 7-inch and those loose collector figures are 6-inch or 1/12 scale, so they're probably not going to scale that great with one another. But Savage Dragon, I think, will probably be the most popular figure in this line. And again, that should be the next one that goes up for pre-order after Spawn. Spawn will be popular too. I suspect the Spawn will sell out quite quickly next week. Green, these are 2-packs. This, again, just recapping. Or actually, I don't. Actually, I don't think these were 2-packs. These are with comic books, so page punchers, and then the red platinum variants for each one. So another Hal Jordan, Flash, yeah, another Flash. So this was the other one people were passing around the slide for after the Brazil convention, which again we had already seen at New York Comic Con. But Elongated Man, these are collector edition figures. Blackhawk, Professor Pig, Cosmic Boy, and some of these will have variants, and then also the Zatanna with Detective Chimp. So. All right, what else? Let's jump over to Star Wars. So we had a fan stream this past week. Can't say they revealed too much in it, but we got a new wave of vintage collection figures that have since gone up for pre-order. So this is General Veers, another Greedo, Snowtrooper Commander, and Poggle the Lesser. So you've got that 96 card back for Greedo. Hoggle. From Attack of the Clones. And this is Snowtrooper Commander, not to be mistaken with the regular Snowtrooper. So few minor differences. And General Veers. So, with removable helmet. So those were your vintage collection figures. They also they showed off some Black Series stuff, but nothing that went up for pre-order because everything was either Hasbro Pulse or Disney Shop exclusives. So Plo Koon and Commander Wolf from the Wolf Pack. They didn't give specific dates for when these are going up for pre-order. Again, these are either Pulse or Pulse Shop Disney exclusives. And this comic book based Scar Squadron 2-pack. I'm not really familiar with these guys. I haven't read the comic, but some new Stormtrooper variants. This was the Mandalorian Season 1 figure, Target exclusive, that they announced during the Brazilian convention, so they were just showing that off again. A new retro figure, if you're collecting the retro. So this is part of a 6-pack. R4M9, always mess this guy's up. The Spy from A New Hope, Garidian, or however you say his name, and CZ3 are the other two that they've announced for this 3-pack. So if you're into that retro stuff, that's a 6-pack that's coming. And like I said, right now we know 3 of the 6. So not a ton of stuff in the Hasbro fan stream last week. But there you go. We've got probably this week coming up. We should have Marvel Legend pre-order. So there's Hasbro pre-orders on Tuesday and Thursday. I don't know which day is which. Obviously, the Hasbro Marvel Legend fan stream is tomorrow. So logically, maybe the pre-orders will be Tuesday for Marvel Legends, or maybe they'll push those to Thursday. And then I think we're going to see some Transformer pre-orders this week as well. So we've seen some images for this Studio Series Voyager class Hot Rod figure from the movie. So I think that will be going up this week. And then I think also the Combaticon Swindle might be going up for pre-order this week. We had the Onslaught go up, was it last week? But I think Swindle's pre-order is coming up here soon as well. I don't know why they just didn't do them on the same day, but there you go. So I don't know exactly which day is which as far as pre-orders. Again, I'm speculating. Originally, I was thinking I was actually hoping the I knew there was a Marvel Legend fan stream coming before the end of the year, and I figured it was going to be this coming week because they weren't going to wait until the week of Christmas to do a fan stream. So I figured it was going to be sometime next week. I was hoping it was going to be like Wednesday for the fan stream, since like I'm going to be kind of busy tomorrow, but of course it was on Monday. So I wasn't shocked. It's not that big a deal because I wasn't planning on leaving here for Pennsylvania until around noonish anyway. So I'll just cover the fan stream tomorrow and then hit the road. But but again, as far as pre-orders, I think one of the days will be Transformers, and Tuesdays is usually a popular day for Transformer pre-orders. But um, I haven't pinned down which is which or exactly what's going up. In fact, as far as Marvel goes, I don't really have anything um, concrete. I know over on Instagram, Mr. Stevie has, so here's Alex Chin News. You guys were talking about the DC stuff again. Anything this year is likely kid oriented. So the stuff here I don't think is collector oriented stuff. So I don't know if he's differentiating or what, but my guess is anything he's seeing for this year is more of a kid oriented line. So I wouldn't get too excited for that. But anyway, Mr. Stevie is from Hasbro, has been teasing some weird. Oops. So I don't know if these are supposed to be different color card backs, vintage collection card backs or something, basically different colored backgrounds with the Marvel Legends logo. Doesn't actually look like packaging. So I don't know. I don't know exactly what he's trying to tease here. Again, I don't have any hard intel of what's going up for pre-order or what's going to be showed off at this fan stream. I'm thinking good possibility of whatever figure that they've been teasing for the last several months, which the going theory still, I haven't seen anybody come up with anything better than the Punisher Hulkbuster armor figure, even though some of the stuff does not match up 100%, like the helmet and stuff, but it's pretty close. So it's possible Hasbro just took some liberties. I don't know. But I suspect we will get that figure revealed during this fan stream. Whether that's this week's pre-order or what, I don't know. Also, just going back to like rumored stuff that has yet to be revealed. I'm thinking the Secret Wars wave might get a reveal this coming week. Again, that's just more guess than anything, but I feel like it was at the end of last year that they showed off Wave 1, if I remember correctly. So I feel like Wave 2 is a good chance that we could end up seeing Wave 2 tomorrow, which based on the rumors, and these were not my rumors, so I don't have any confirmation of these, but displaying model behavior, most of his stuff has been pretty accurate. That's who originated this one. So Constrictor, Falcon, Daredevil, Spider-Man. We don't know exactly what version of Spider-Man. Absorbing Man, which would probably be a reissue of the Build-A-Figure, and an Unknown Six figure, last time I heard. So a lot of these are based on like the last original Mattel Secret War figures that are pretty hard to get, like Constrictor and Daredevil and Falcon. Those from the original Mattel line, those are all, I think, deemed pretty rare. So that's what they're kind of looks like they're basing a lot of these figures from this wave on. So again, I feel like there's a good chance of that. I won't. Deadpool, Wolverine, Wave 2, maybe, but I don't know. They often don't like to do MCU stuff during the fan streams. So even though this is from a movie that's already been out, so I guess maybe. Colossus, Kitty Pryde 2-pack, I could definitely see them revealing that. I wouldn't be surprised if this is some kind of Target exclusive, even though we have other rumored Target exclusives as well. So we'll have to see on that. And then these Spider-Man figures have already been confirmed. And then there's also this Hulk wave that we don't know much about. So again, that's all speculation. I've not dug up any actual, like, oh, I know this is going up for pre-order this week or anything. So this is all really more guessing than anything for me at this point. But we'll find out tomorrow. So we don't have much longer to wait. Really don't have much else on the Marvel Legend front. It's been very slow. Disney apparently is going all in on AI. They just signed this uh, $1 billion deal with OpenAI to allow their characters to be used, including Marvel and Star Wars. So, I've been seeing a lot of AI generated fake Avengers Doomsday characters and costumes and stuff. But I guess Disney is like, yeah, let's just make some money off of it. So I look forward to when we, don't even have to worry about Disney making an official movie. We'll just watch people's AI generated movies with AI generated actors and and so on and so forth. So I'm being a little sarcastic there. So not really looking forward to that, but that's definitely where I feel like things are going to start going as far as AI and stuff. Let's keep a little bit of other entertainment news. So this week we had the Supergirl trailer. I'm not going to show it to you, but I'm sure you've probably watched it already. I don't know. I definitely had a Guardians of the Galaxy vibe to me. I know it's based on a specific storyline in the comics, which I have not read. So, um, some people say it was a really good storyline. Again, I don't know enough about it to say, but just from the trailer, like there wasn't anything I hated. It just didn't really catch my fancy either. So we did get a look at Lobo, played by the actor Jason Momoa, who, of course, in the Snyderverse played Aquaman. So Lobo is definitely a much better casting, I think, for this actor. But we have our first look at him. He looks pretty good there, smoking a cigar. He's got the eye makeup and the white face. I think that's a cut on his face, but so not too bad looking. And McFarlane will be doing the figures for this movie, so I'm sure we'll get Lobo and Supergirl. I don't know who else we might get. I don't know who this guy is. I don't know. I don't know who she is either. Like I said, I've never read the comic book story that this is kind of based on, but so I'm not super excited for this, but I don't hate it either. It seems like online you either have to hate everything James Gunn does or like it, and I'm just kind of in the middle. Trying to think if we talked about this last week, but the DC Direct playset that was being reissued by McFarlane. Actually, it was originally just offered on McFarlane's store, but now you can pick it up on Amazon. So this is a reissue, though. This figure is not the figure included with the original playset. We got Alfred with the original one. We got this. I don't know. It's like an '89 Batman version from the animated series. I mean, it's nothing that ever appeared in the animated series. So a weird kind of variant Batman does have a soft goods cape, so he can sit down in the chair. Um, Great playset. I have mine on display. You can keep it plugged in. It's got an AC port, so you can plug it in. It's battery operated, but technically you can keep it plugged in so it can stay lit all the time. Originally, when DC Direct put this thing out, it did have an issue with decals falling off, and so they issued new decal sheets. I'm assuming this reissue version will have the better decals than the original. But like I say, it's a cool playset. Now it is more expensive. It's now $250, so inflation, I guess. But like I say, it is a pretty cool playset based, for Batman the animated series. Um, and the idea behind the decals are supposed to be they're supposed to be removable decals. So I wouldn't take them off too many times, or you'll find that they won't stay on very well. But that was like the idea behind it, is you could switch out the decals, put like different computer screens on it and stuff. But that really didn't. That sounded better, I'm sure, on paper than it actually worked out in theory. Let's see. Oh, we were talking movies. Let's get back into movie stuff. So, besides Supergirl, we also got Street Fighter for the new Street Fighter movie. And I got to tell you, this looks awful. I mean, not all. This has a lot. This has Cody Rhodes as Zangief. Like here in the poster, he looks decent. Roman Reigns as Akuma. Um, there's your look at Ryu. The character posters look decent. Vega, Jason Momoa, playing Lobo and Blanca, so he's got some double duty coming up. Bison looks way too small. Obviously, in the last Street Fighter movie, Bison was, the actor playing Bison was pretty small, but he was a good actor, so it kind of made up for it. I don't know. I recognize the guy playing Bison, but I don't. It doesn't like stand out to me. So like the character posters look okay. Cammy probably is the best looking of the group, but they also released this kind of mini quick trailer, and this just looked really bad to me. I do like how they've incorporated like bonus stages of the game into the movie, but honestly, it almost looks like it's satire. So I don't know, but this to me does not look that great. Cody in the trailer, his hair just looks ridiculous. It's in the poster, it looks decent, but in the trailer, it just did not look very good. So I don't know. The first Street Fighter movie with Jean Claude Van Damme, that wasn't that great either. Like I've always preferred, uh, I've always preferred Street Fighter to Mortal Kombat as far as the game, but I move when it comes to movies, Mortal Kombat's always just been better. The original movies, the more modern movies. So it looks like Mortal Kombat will win again. Video game movies can be polarizing. Well, anything today can be polarizing. It looks silly to me. And like I say, I honestly don't know if that's the intent. If they're trying to make it be kind of silly, But that's how it just struck me as that trailer. It just like meant to be silly. So I guess we'll wait until we see more. But and it's not like I said to me. It's not necessarily like some definitely look better than others. Um, Chun Li looks okay to me. Ryu, Ken, I don't know. Ken looks a little. And like I say, right here, Cody looks okay, but when you watch him in the trailer, his hair just looks ridiculous. Vega looks a little off to me. Balrog, a little bit on the tiny side compared to the game, but I don't know. That's probably be finding somebody that big wouldn't be too feasible. Blanca looks okay, at least in the poster. Dawson, Zangief. So I don't know, but the trailer just looked really silly to me. So all right, so that's pretty much all I have for you on the news front. Oh wait, no, I got one more thing. A big, well, a couple of things actually. So Big Bad Toy Store or Big Bad Workshop is showing off some prototype images for their upcoming Operation Monster Force. Miranda Seek, which definitely is sporting the cleavage there. Mezco has some new 5-point Terrifier figures from the second movie. Those went up for pre-order this past week. McFarlane Toy Show is coming up this week as well, so we'll be getting new reveals from McFarlane on the 18th. Hopefully, we'll get a better look at that Joker figure, the one loosely based on Jack Nicholson, of course. I'm hoping we see a better look at that, but that's on the 18th. But Jada Toys, so pre-orders for those Flintstone figures. These are technically based on the serial. It'll be curious to see if they do other Flintstones after this, but this is part of their serial mascot line. Fred and Barney. Pre-orders are this coming Monday at 9 a.m. Pacific time, so 12 p.m. Eastern. We'd seen these at some of the shows. You get the Fruity Pebbles cereal. Fred Flintstone's cave house is not included. But whoever created that did a pretty good job. Cocoa Pebbles as well. Fruity Pebbles and Cocoa Pebbles. So if you're into Flintstones, again, I don't know. I've seen a lot of people saying they hope they go, we get other Flintstone characters. I don't, because this is technically part of the serial mascot line, I don't know. I mean, some of the other characters did appear on the cereal boxes, so I suppose maybe they could slip a few others in. But it's not technically a Flintstone line, so I don't know how far or deep Jada Toys can go with these. It'd be interesting if they did like the Flintstones car. That would be kind of a cool looking thing, especially if you could put like the feet of the figures so it looks like they're running the car like in the cartoon. But again, pre-orders for those are tomorrow. So if you're into Flintstones, Jada Toys has got those coming up. Should be available Big Bad Toy Store, Entertainment Earth, all your usual places. So, like I said, those are coming up. One more. Four Horsemen have given us a look at their Toylanta exclusive figure. So Toylanta is in March. So this guy is Lieutenant Holiday. So not a typical looking Four Horsemen type figure. This looks more like something you'd see from Valorverse or something, but looks like a cool figure. And they will have some available online, I believe. If you're not making it to Toylanta this year. Dark Prince. I agree. In fact, I would say the trailer for the second Mortal Kombat movie to me looked better than the first movie. I mean, I thought the first movie, the first modern movie, I love the original Mortal Kombat movie. It's still, I won't say it's like a masterpiece, but I really enjoyed that first Mortal Kombat movie. But but the first modern Mortal Kombat movie, I thought was okay, but I feel like the second movie is going to be better. All right, well, we're about at the end of the hour. So like I say, I will not be on here tomorrow. We will have full coverage of everything revealed for the Marvel Legend panel on Marvelous News as it happens. And then I'll be back on Wednesday. I'm sure there'll be 20 videos up on YouTube of people recapping everything revealed tomorrow. But again, I'll be back on Wednesday. We'll talk about that and anything else that happens between now and then. I'll tell you about how Raw goes. So I don't know if I mentioned this before. So I originally got these tickets for Raw, but it turns out that I guess because I don't know why, but they're pre-recording SmackDown tomorrow night as well. So which airs on Friday, of course, on USA. So I'll be at both SmackDown and Raw this week. The seats should be right there on the aisle that you walk down. So if you watch wrestling and this week either Raw or SmackDown, then you might catch a glimpse of me and Big Nerdy from Nerdzoic. I don't know exactly where on that aisle, but as they walk down to the ring from the backstage, you might get a glimpse of us along there. So hopefully that'll be fun. It's my first, long time ago, I went to a few wrestling shows, but never any of them that were like televised. So this is the first time I've gone to like an actual Monday Night Raw or in this case SmackDown. So, and they didn't even promote it as both. It was just later on. It was like, oh, guess what? You get to go to both SmackDown and Raw this week because we're recording both on the same night. And I think actually SmackDown will happen first because I believe they changed the start time to 6 p.m. So I think they're going to do SmackDown first, which will be pre-recorded. You guys won't get to watch it until Friday. And I won't be one of those people that runs online and gives all the spoilers of everything that happened because I hate that. So I won't talk about the matches from SmackDown until after SmackDown actually airs next Friday. But Raw, and then Raw should be at 8:00. So, and that'll be live. So anyway, I won't be here. Like I say, I won't be on here tomorrow, but be back Wednesday. Check out Marvelous News for all the coverage of the Marvel Legend panel. Hopefully there'll be some cool reveals. I'm not like expecting tons and tons of stuff, but hopefully it'll be more exciting than the Star Wars fan stream, which, as I've said before, Star Wars just hasn't been doing much for me lately, and that fan stream certainly didn't do much for me either. But I am hoping we'll get some cool reveals. Finally find out whatever that figure they've been teasing for the last several months actually is. And then, like I say, look for some pre-orders this week. A number of McFarlane pre-orders and 2 Hasbro pre-orders Tuesday and Thursday. And I think, like I say, one's going to be Marvel and the other is going to be Transformers, I think. So, all right, guys. Take it easy. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. And if you're in an area with snow, we got snow last night, so not a lot, but like 3 inches, I think, which for some people, I guess that's a lot. But stay safe out there. Until next time, guys, I'll catch you later. Thanks for watching today's video. If you're new to the channel, think about subscribing and hitting that bell notification so you're alerted every time I upload a new video. You can also think about becoming an action figure enthusiast channel member. There's a link in the video description below with more details on that. Check out all the names of everyone who's already joined, scrolling down at the bottom of your screen. And for the latest in action figure news, be sure to head over to toynewseye.com, marvelousnews.com, JediInsider.com, and tformers.com. And remember, action figures are great!